Billy kick-started his band, Green Day, at the age of 16, a common beginning for many renowned punk singers who also formed their bands during their teenage years. As for myself, I embarked on my musical journey at the age of 19 alongside my best friend and four other companions. We formed a band driven by our shared passion for music. I had a rough upbringing and was involved in some petty crimes in the past. And music kind of helped me get away from all that. My dream was never about money or fame, but rather the desire to emulate the musicians I admired as idols during my upbringing. My love for music runs deep, and I take pride in mastering any instrument I pick up. With great determination, we had a solid plan in place and were confident that we were destined for success. We relish our carefree days, enjoying the company of our attractive girlfriend and the freedom from major responsibilities. Earning our keep from playing gigs, particularly at bars, was our way of making a name for ourselves on the music scene. Though we didn't live luxurious lives, it was enough to sustain us. We knew that following this path had led many great musicians to success. Our journey seemed promising until tragedy struck. My girlfriend became pregnant unexpectedly. Though she had claimed to be on contraception, she had secretly stopped taking it, intended to trap me into parenthood. Despite my aspiration, I couldn't ignore the reality that I lacked the means to support a child and her on my current income. I had to scale back my music pursuit if our baby arrived before the band achieved its breakthrough. A few weeks after my girlfriend deliberately trapped me with her pregnancy, I faced another challenge when my best friend arrived late for rehearsal, brimming with joy as he shared the news of his girlfriend's pregnancy. Though not the brightest person, my best friend's cheerful and amicable nature was one of his most enduring qualities. However, his occasional goofiness made it difficult for him to grasp the implication of having a baby at this particular juncture in our music career. Despite my attempt to explain it to him, as expected, I couldn't help but harbor resentment toward my girlfriend for her action. Yet, I felt trapped myself, unable to end the relationship as she could potentially put me on child support, and I had to abide by the law. 9 months later, my girlfriend gave birth to our son, and around the same time, my best friend's girlfriend also gave birth to their baby girl. Unlike me, my best friend was overjoyed to become a father. He even commemorated the occasion by getting a tattoo of his daughter's likeness and birth year. Although I loved my newborn son, I couldn't share the level of excitement about fatherhood. I wanted my child to have a better life, one filled with comfort and opportunity, surpassing the life I had experienced. However, at that moment, I knew I wasn't prepared to provide that kind of life for him. This realization deepened my belief that my girlfriend has stolen my dreams by intentionally trapping me with her deceitful action. Going back on our agreement by stopping her contraceptive, I understand that my son is not to blame for the situation I find myself. However, I had to make some difficult decisions, such as reducing my music playing hours and halting travel in order to secure a stable job. Our band hadn't achieved the breakthrough we had hoped for, and we weren't financially prepared to support a baby and a girlfriend. The expenses associated with a new baby added to the strain. Unfortunately, the band members began to slack off as our activity declined and the income dwindled. Gradually, we started losing committed and dedicated members. Replacing them with new members proved challenging, as you can't expect someone to change for the band. Waiting for them to improve may be an endless endeavor, wasting precious time and money. When bandmates struggle with timing, tuning, attendance, reading music, or getting along with others, it significantly hampers the music-making process and affects everyone involved, including the struggling members themselves. I used to believe that with support, encouragement, and time, a band member's commitment, playing style, genre preference, or ability could be molded. However, I now realize that this approach leads to failure. It's futile to attempt to shape a band member into something they or I might desire if they aren't willing to put in the necessary time and effort required to make the band function successfully. The stress of balancing everything became too overwhelming, leading me to make the tough decision to disband the group. Consequently, I now lived with lingering thoughts of what could have been, all because my girlfriend believed I would abandon her if I achieved fame. Then my best friend and I got a job at an auto manufacturing plant devoid of music and ambition. When my girlfriend saw the distress I felt about becoming a father, she came to understand that my actions were driven by a sense of duty and responsibility rather than genuine passion. Realizing this, she apologized and became cautious around me, sensing the need to be considerate. I love her, and I still believe she's a good person, and thought she comprehended that I would have stayed with her even if I had attained fame, rendering the need to trap me with a baby unnecessary. With my dream of being a musician no longer intact, I had to reshuffle my aspiration and embrace a suburban, blue-collar lifestyle. Now I find joy in hosting gatherings in my backyard, inviting friends and family to showcase the skills I could have honed. One such occasion was a barbecue where I asked my best friend to bring his family, considering his daughter and my son are around the same age. I didn't know my friend's girlfriend very well, but I have heard that she has a fiery personality. When she came to my house, all she did was relentlessly criticize my best friend, neglecting her own daughter in the process. He was the one carrying the baby around, trying to tend to her needs, while she continued to find fault in everything he did. For instance, if the baby started crying while lying in the carriage, she would shout my friend's name, demanding that he figure out why the baby was upset, all while she chatted with other women. Observing this dynamic, I couldn't help but admire my friend for his dedication to being a father, even though it seemed like he was being ordered around. I, personally, wouldn't tolerate such disrespect from my girlfriend. I advised my friend not to let his girlfriend treat him that way in front of others, but being a good-hearted person he is, he tried to pretend that everything was fine. Their relationship seemed toxic to me. My friend would show up to work with scratches on his face and bruises, which deeply concerned me. I felt he should consider leaving his girlfriend, as the situation had the potential to escalate into serious domestic violence, leading someone to end up in jail or even worse, putting someone's life at risk. About 18 months after becoming a dad, my friend suddenly went missing from work. Initially, I assumed he might have called in sick, so I didn't think much of it until he didn't show up the following day. As we worked in different departments, I wasn't privy to the whole story. Still, I decided to reach out and call him, only to find out that he wouldn't answer his phone. After 3 days of worrying due to his absence, I managed to obtain his girlfriend's number through my own girlfriend and gave her a call. Shockingly, she informed me that my friend had been arrested by the police because she had reported him for domestic violence and sexually assaulting their 18-month-old daughter. Finding it difficult to believe, I decided to check the county website, and to my dismay, I discovered that he was indeed in the county jail, and the charges were listed there on their website. Refusing to believe what his girlfriend had said, I went to the jail to visit him. However, upon arrival, I was informed that my friend had to be taken to the hospital because another inmate attacked him after learning about the nature of his crimes involving his own daughter. The entire situation left me feeling shocked and devastated, unable to fathom the reality of what had happened. The following week, I returned to see my friend in jail, and the sight of him shocked me to the core. He appeared unrecognizable, having suffered severe beating since his arrest. The once cheerful and always smiling friend I knew could barely manage a smile now, and it only took me a few seconds to understand why. All his front teeth had been knocked out. He recounted the dreadful incident that led to his current situation. It all started with a domestic dispute between him and his girlfriend, triggered by financial issue due to her drug abuse. In the past, we both had a history of drug use, but we made a conscious decision to leave that life behind when we left the band, focusing on our regular jobs to avoid failing drug tests. During their argument, she assaulted him, and in a moment of rage, he reacted in a way he now regrets. However, she was determined to have him imprisoned, so she called the police, falsely accusing him of assaulting both her and actually assaulting their 18-month-old daughter. He was arrested, and to my dismay, no bail was posted, leaving him feeling as if the system wanted him to suffer and perhaps even perish in prison. The entire situation left me deeply saddened and angered by the injustice my friend was facing. It was heartbreaking to see him in such a state, and I could only hope that the truth would prevail, allowing him to seek the help and rehabilitation he needed, rather than being left to die in jail. Utilizing my savings, I hired a competent lawyer to secure the judge's approval for posting bond, enabling my traumatized friend's release from jail. Then I took him in to stay with me. Clearly shaken by the event he went through, his biggest concern is for his baby girl, knowing that his girlfriend isn't capable of being a responsible mother and lacking the knowledge to care for a baby properly. Understanding his fear, we decided to involve Child Protective Service in an attempt to ensure the welfare of the child. A welfare check revealed that she was living in deplorable condition, and without my best friend's support, everything fell into disarray. Consequently, they decided to remove the baby from her custody and granted temporary guardianship to his girlfriend's parents. Unfortunately, they sided with her too, claiming my friend didn't deserve their daughter. We go to court about the sexual assault case. It didn't take long for them to know that it was all fabricated. Apparently, the girlfriend overstated her accusation by claiming to have seen him penetrating their daughter with his junk. The situation is both distressing and infuriating, and it highlights the need for justice to prevail. My friend had gone through an immense ordeal due to false accusation, and it's heart-wrenching to witness the toll it has taken on his life and his relationship with his child. A medical examiner checked the child and ruled that it was impossible, so the case fell apart. After it was proven that she falsified the accusation, and my friend was falsely imprisoned for 45 days, most of those days recovering from injuries because a fellow inmate beat him up thinking he abused his daughter. Then he lost his job and no way of generating income, so he's destitute. The court system refused to acknowledge any charges against the mother, leaving my friend feeling abandoned and betrayed. It was as if they were saying, "We're sorry for all the terrible things that had happened to you and how it destroyed your life, but we won't persecute your girlfriend for her false accusation." The injustice seemed apparent, and it felt like there was a disparity in how women making false accusation against men were treated. The reason why some women feel encouraged to make false accusation against men is that they believe that they can get away with it. This unequal treatment adds to the frustration and injustice my friend faced. Despite the overwhelming situation, my friend managed to remain positive and hopeful, focusing on the chance to reunite with his daughter and rebuild their family. He actively tried to get back to his feet, seeking employment and working towards securing visitation rights to see his daughter. However, in the midst of his effort, the situation took a distressing turn when the mother began claiming that the daughter wasn't actually his. The unexpected twist added further complexity to the already difficult situation. My friend insisted on a DNA test to finally put an end to his girlfriend's history of lying. The paternity test results shocked us all. He wasn't the father of the girl he had always believed was his daughter. Heartbroken, he lost custody of the child he had had loving care for all along. Sadly, there were no legal consequence for the mother, as it seemed to be a recurring theme in their tumultuous relationship. Following the devastating revelation, my friend's life took a dark turn. He struggled to find employment and couldn't pass drug tests, leading him down a destructive path. The lack of financial stability led him to resort to dangerous drugs, and he fell in with the wrong crowd. Gradually, he disappeared into the shadows of the city, and I occasionally caught glimpses of him when he was homeless. He had become a mere share of his former self, and it was evident that he had spiraled into a state of mental turmoil. Sadly, about a year later, I received the tragic news that he had overdosed and nobody came to claim his body. In the end, I had to gather some family and friends to say prayers and bid him farewell. The loss of my dear friend was a painful blow to all of us who knew and cared for him. Later on, I encountered his ex-girlfriend at a Walmart, and it was disheartening to see her with another man, seemingly content despite the misery she has caused my friend. The sights only serve as a bitter reminder of the unfairness and tragedy that had unfolded in my friend's life. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's start some conversation in the comment section. Thank you and have a wonderful day.